Who is this pattern language for? Who would benefit from it? What do you think?
Well, the people for whom it is most designed is those people who love the idea of having whole communities and societies able to collectively generate real wisdom for their public affairs. If you catch that idea, if you get infected with that idea, this becomes an invaluable tool for moving towards that. But if you're also you have your own project, you're working on some community service thing or some activist social change thing or whatever, and using these patterns will help you in your group think about how to make your actions more participatory and wise and powerful. So this has guidelines for you even at the level of your group or your community. And you can also, this is a really interesting idea, and some people can just learn. It's like reading a book. Here is a resource that's filled with wisdom about how to change the society, and you can study it for yourself. It goes on forever. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper with this. It could be form of a curriculum. You know, there's lots of uses this could be put to, but it's most useful for people who get the vision. We want to have powerful participatory wisdom to handle with our shared affairs, to save the world, to sustain things, to live good lives. All that's part of this.
So Tom, please share with us what is, first of all, a wiser democracy, and what is a pattern language? Why patterns?
Democracy in our framing is having governance by the people, by ordinary people, by the whole people. That's what democracy is. Voting and all that, that's just one way to do it, but grounded in everybody being involved in one way or another. And wisdom, our definition of wisdom is taking into account what needs to be taken into account for long-term broad benefit and the capacity to do that. So the vision of a wise democracy is, how do you build that capacity in groups, organizations, communities, whole societies, civilization? And the challenges we face, the emerging challenges, are gigantic. And so having a way to tap into all the diverse capacities and insights that everybody has and the resources everybody has, how do we access, evoke, and engage the wisdom and resourcefulness of the whole population, of all the stakeholders, whatever, to deal with these challenges? That's what this is about. If we have visions of what could be, we have ideas shaping how this should unfold, but what do you do actually on the ground? And the pattern language is a bridge between those big visions and those big ideas and what you do on the ground. They're design guidances. Here's a basic principle to do. Like, one of our patterns is using diversity and disturbance creatively. So that's a guideline to how to go about dealing with diversity and disturbance, and we have a bunch of resources you can use to do that.
So Tom, if you would describe the features of a card, what's on a card, could you say something about that?
Every one of our 96 pattern language cards has a name for the pattern. It has an image that we went to great trouble to pick perfect images for these, credits for the images, where we got them. Description, there's a 50 to 60 word description of the pattern, which we call the heart. It's the heart of the matter. And then there's 7 other patterns that have something to do with this one. If you want to work on this pattern, you would probably be smart to attend to these other patterns also. And then there's, every card has a number for its alphabetical order, so it's really easy to put it into alphabetical order so you can find things easily. And there's a little symbol that represents a question category. Here is one of the ways, one of the things that needs to be done in order to evoke and engage the wisdom and resourcefulness of the whole.
And Tom, I think this is a big difference between the first version and the second version. Could you say something about that?
Right. We decided that questions would be more dynamic. That having things in a category sort of settles them down. Having them into questions opens things up. And so this question of how do we evoke and engage the wisdom and resourcefulness of the whole is a giant, very theoretical question. So we broke it down into 7 areas, like diversity and interaction and all these different, sustainability, all these different dimensions of how to go about answering that question. And we made questions for each one of those. And then we put all the patterns into at least one of those questions. Many patterns fit into several questions, but we put them into just one. And we also have questions that are on each card has a page. We'll go over that in a minute. And there's questions on the page also.
Please explain the main features of the pattern page, and maybe you could first start with the questions you just started talking about.
Right. Well, basically, we have all the features that you see on a card are on the page, and there's a couple more that give a reason to go to the page and not just stay on the card. If you want to go deeper into the card, you go to the cards, to that patterns page. And there, in addition to the image and the name and the heart and the related patterns, which are now live linked, so you can go to them easily, you have a set of questions, usually between 3 and a dozen questions relating to that pattern. And if you want to explore it, exploring these questions will get you quite far. And then there's a video of usually me talking about for 4 to 20 minutes, talking about that pattern and different things about it and why I described it the way I described it, etc. And then we transcribe that video and edit it, sometimes with additions. So there's a whole essay about that pattern. And we also researched different tools and articles and things to help you learn more about that from all the people who've been engaging with that pattern for decades. So there's lots of information to actually understand and act on the pattern, whatever it is. The page is just the whole thing is an encyclopedia for creating a wise democracy.
Please tell us, how do you get the cards? What options do we have?
Well, first of all, you need to go to the site. You go to the website, and you can, right there on the website, you can download your free deck, and then you have to go print it. You have to cut it up and go to all that trouble, but it doesn't cost you anything. Or you can just order a box, beautiful box set of cards that were designed for beauty and functionality and to last for a long time. Up in the right-hand corner, where the menu for the site, you'll see a little for getting your cards, and there's a sub-menus for buying or downloading the deck. It's very simple.
Okay. Thank you for watching this introductory video. I hope it was useful for you, and I'm hoping also you will buy or download a deck. So thank you. Bye-bye.